Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2012 political comedy, The Campaign. A film that is directed by Jay Roach and it stars Will Ferrell, Zach Galifianakis, Jason Sudeikis, Dylan McDermott, John Lithgow and Dan Aykroyd. Now this film tells the story of Will Ferrell's character Cam Brady is a congressman who has had a clear run at politics for quite some time now, a number of years. He's had no competition at all. He's as corrupt as you like, and he just thinks he's kind of untouchable. However, with the backing of two rich businessmen, Zach Galifianakis decides to go for the governor as well of his small state, and goes into direct competition with Will Ferrell's character. As the campaign gets dirtier and dirtier and funnier as it goes on. So that's the general story here that we get with The Campaign. What are my thoughts on this film? Well, this is a film I've recently picked up to add to my collection, and it's a film that I do remember seeing around the time it was released. I don't believe I went to the cinema to watch it, but I did watch it, and because I'm a fan of Will Ferrell, to be fair. Not everything he's done, but most of what he's done you can fairly be sure that it's going to give me a good laugh. I think he's a very talented comedy actor, and I like an awful lot of stuff that what he does. Now, the thing that really stood out to me rewatching this recently was that at the time when this came out in 2012, a few years before the Trump era, I suppose we can call it that, after rewatching it, this film kind of took on a whole new meaning for me. Yes, it's satire. Yes, the idea of this film is to highlight politics in the United States. Now, I'm from the UK, so I don't really have an opinion on the politics of the United States, but it's clear that it's satire about that, and there's many issues that it skirts around with the comedy, but I suppose the very central core and message of the film is that politics in the US isn't its best right now, probably. But what really stood out for me was this film being really over the top and dialed up to 11. It's not that far-fetched now after the Trump era, the last 4 years, I suppose. Some of the stuff that you see in this film, yes, of course, it's over exaggerated. The comedy in the film for effect. I'm sure Trump hasn't punched any babies as Will Ferrell does in this film, but he probably would if he thought it'd get him votes. Of that, I have no doubt. But I really quite enjoy this film for what it is. It's one of those films that it's just click your brain off and have fun with it, because it's really over the top. Yes, there are a couple of quieter moments where they try and force in some messages and meanings and all that kind of stuff, as they do in many American comedies. They always feel like they have to get some kind of message in there, and they do that here as well. That's okay. If you're used to that pattern with American comedies, then you'll be able to digest what they do here with in regards to the sugarcoating areas and stuff. But they more than make up for that in the over exaggerated comedy that they do. Like I say, the punching the babies and the way over the top stuff that they do to try and get one up on each other. And Will Ferrell can do it, I think, better than most. Don't get me wrong, Zach Galifianakis is a real highlight in this film as well. He's the other side of the coin, if you like, to Will Ferrell's character. He's a good man who wants to do the right thing, but who gets drawn into this seedy campaign. And they're both firing shots at each other, trying to get the better of each other, and just seeing how they're trying to outdo each other is worth it alone to watch the film and get the entertainment from it. The real shame here is the lack of things they have to do for actors like John Lithgow and Dan Aykroyd and Brian Cox, who are all in the film briefly, I guess I would say, and three actors as renowned as that, especially with the comedy talents of those. To do so little with them is kind of unforgivable. Also, Jason Sudeikis, I'm not really sure why he took this film. He's got very little of interest to do in this film, as has Dylan McDermott, who plays like the guy that pulls the strings behind the scenes, you know, in regards to the campaign manager type of things for Zach Galifianakis' character. But it is an entertaining comedy film, if not one of those that, you know, it's not like Step Brothers or something like that. That is so funny. Your sides ache when you watch a comedy like that. It's not that kind of comedy, but there are definitely many laugh out loud moments in this. I rewatched it, like I said, with my wife recently, who'd never seen the film, and she was absolutely laughing many times during this film. She couldn't believe some of the stuff that they did in this film, and it is way over the top, really funny at times, and it's a nicely put together comedy that I think has more relevance now than it did when it was released. I mean, it was obviously trying to, you know, say something about American politics upon its release, but who'd have thought where it was going to lead in regards to American politics over the next few years, and look where it ended up. So I think if you watch this film now, or rewatch it if you've never seen it before, I do think it will put a little wry smile on your face. It certainly did me. But it's a fun film if you're a fan of Will Ferrell or a fan of Zach Galifianakis and you've not seen this film. It is definitely one worth checking out. You can pick it up really cheap as well these days. I only paid a couple of quid on Blu-ray for it. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. It's a perfectly serviceable and watchable comedy film that's nicely put together. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, I will be back with more reviews on Screen Stars very soon.